Annika, hey, it's Jeff Ritter out here in Arizona. So sorry it's taken so long to get this video to you, but I got a couple ideas for you to consider as you work on your swing. So the first thing I like to see you do is maybe get just a little bit less bend in your knees. You can see my picture over here to the right, just a very slight amount of knee bend. The second thing we're going to talk about is the shape of your backswing and also what's happening in your transition from the backswing to the downswing. So if we look at your swing here on the left, let's go ahead and get this playing. So as the club swings back, you can see your club head traveling a little bit underneath that yellow line. As your left hand, where your glove is, kind of pushes away from your body. Keep watching this right here. Right to there, okay? And if you look at what's happening with you versus what's happening with my backswing, notice how my hands stay a little bit closer to my body as the club head stays a little bit more out in front of me. So when I'm looking here, you can see how my hands are close, the club head is sort of out away, whereas your hands are away and your club head is in close. And then from here, you can see the difference in what's happening with the back of the left wrist and forearm. So right now, the back of your left wrist and forearm kind of curves this way, whereas the back of my left wrist and forearm kind of curve that way. All right. So what happens with you is, as you get your left hand away from your body, when the club head comes around too much, that's because the back of your left wrist is getting too rounded or bowed too soon. Whereas with me, you can see I've got more of an angle between the back of the left wrist and forearm. So as you continue up to the top, I guess your swing was shot in super slow motion right here, so it's taking a little longer. As you get up to the top, your club face starts to get a little bit closed, right there. Right there, a little bit closed. And then as you transition right here, right there, the club face is a little bit closed as well. All right, so watch me. So I have a little bit of a bend between the back of my left wrist and forearm, right there. As I get up to the top, look at the difference in my club face there, and also the difference in where my club is here. So notice with my club, see how the grip end's kind of pointing maybe out past the ball just a little bit? You can also see how the club face is nice and square, whereas your grip end kind of points down between the ball and your feet, and your club face is obviously the face looking more back towards the video camera here. So when you get in that position right there, the kind of shot you would maybe tend to hit would be a shot that maybe is a little bit of a pull hook to the left, or you might also tend to hit a little bit too much ground, take too deep of a divot. So what you'll do in the golf ball is you'll tend to start sliding your hips towards the target a little bit, and then as you swing through, the club's going to kind of swing way up over your front shoulder, right here. See where your arms are? Now look at the difference in my follow through. More turn and more round, just like so. So what happens with you is once you get the club in this position right here, where the club face is a little bit closed and the shaft is a little bit too steep, as we would call it, like I said, that would make you hit the ball too much to the left with too much of a divot. So when you start to kind of slide your hips towards the target and swing up, that's your way of trying to straighten out your golf ball and also take a little bit less ground. So I've always loved your golf swing. I think it's fantastic. But you're a young kid with a huge future, and I know you're going to work really hard to try and make your swing the best it can be. So what I'm going to do is just show you a couple little things you can work on a daily basis to try and get your backswing and downswing shape just a little bit closer to something that's going to be more repeatable for you as you start to grow up. So let me go ahead and get ourselves in the live video to this. Okay, so big thing we got to do. Like I said, number one is get your legs just a little bit taller, just like so. From here, as we swing back, I want you to feel like there's a little bit more of an indentation or a bend between the back of your left wrist and forearm, just like that. What happens with you is the back of your left wrist kind of flattens early as the handle of the club or the grip pushes too much away from your body. So this would be an exaggeration of your mistake. Too much away with the handle, in with the club head. And this is what I'd like to see happen. More like that. Okay, so a little bit of a bend here. As you swing up to the top, because you have this little bend, the club face will look more square, like that, instead of closed like that. See the difference? Right, so this would be correct. Little bend and square. Now coming down, your old swing would come down like this just a little too much. See how the shaft is getting a little bit vertical? And the club face is kind of shining up towards the sky just a little bit? That's where you are. Now from here, if you were to swing around your body naturally, the club face would be too closed, your divot would be too deep, boom, and the ball will go left too much. So what you tend to do from here is you'll start to slide your body this way, sideways, sideways, sideways. Now the club face is squared. The only problem is your follow through goes too much up over your front shoulder. So you're sort of compensating just a little bit for the position of your downswing. So a little bend here. This is your new takeaway. Club face is nice and square. Now if you're working in a mirror, I want you to practice bringing the club back down just like this. You see the difference between this shaft and club face versus your shaft and club face? The difference. This would be no, and this would be yes. A little more there. So there's a little more tilt back to the shaft. Club face is square. So just try and look exactly like I do. Now, if you do this, and you still tend to slide a little bit to the right, you're going to start hitting everything thin, no divot, and it's going to go to the right too much. So if you start doing that, that's actually good news. If your club is coming down more correctly, now your follow-through should go more around your body, much more naturally this way. Just like so. Instead of here, here, and there. Make sense? Okay, so all this stuff I'm showing you, I just want you to work on these positions at home in front of a mirror. Okay, each day in the morning, each night before you go to bed. When you go play, just go play. I don't want you to be overly mechanical or position oriented. But if you can understand just a little bit about how you're starting and how it's affecting your club face, downswing, and follow through, then you can start to change it. So a little difference at the start, more bend here. That'll give us a little more squareness at the top, which gives us more squareness transitioning, which gives us more rounded follow through. So just a little bit of mirror work here for you, kid. Nice job. Right? Proud of your progress. And I love seeing all the updates on how you're doing. So no doubt that you're going to be a total star. You're already a stud already. But we got a little bit of work ahead of us if we're going to dominate that LPGA Tour. So if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email, jeff@jeffrittergolf.com, or you can connect with me through my Jeff Ritter Golf Facebook page, which I know you're already a fan of. Nice work, and I look forward to hearing more from you soon.